2022 is definitely the year to snag one of these cars. There's not a lot around anymore that are decent shape, and it's definitely time to buy them right now. The car I'm driving will be for sale this coming week. This week or next week, we're waiting on parts. And if you're interested in it, I was thinking maybe we were asking around $3,000, but after buying tires, after buying a fuel level sender and a fuel pump for it, I think we're gonna be probably closer to $4 grand. All right, guys, so today's video is it worth buying a BMW E39 in 2022? Now, these cars about a year ago, E39s from 97 to 03. It's a 5 Series from 97 to 03. Now, a year or so ago, you could buy one of these for $500 to $1,500 for one that was a little bit beat, but still in way fixable condition. Maybe a really nice one was $2,500 to $3 grand. Anymore, this past year, they've gone up a lot, $4 or $5 grand. It's so hard to find a really nice one. I don't know what the price would even be on that. And this was the same time frame as E36 and E46, right? So 97 to 99, the same year as E36 and on up as E46. So you could either buy one of these cars or you could buy one of those 3 Series. The issue is the 3 Series were a lot smaller car. They weren't really as usable as an everyday driver as this. They're a little more nimble in the corners, but not near as good of a highway cruiser, you would say. And we've always had E39s throughout the years, always been one around, whether it's mine or somebody else's on the channel, just because they're not very expensive to fix them, and they're pretty easy to maintain, not bad at all. And I always say on E39s, when you get one in, it needs all the maintenance done. So you need water pump, you need coolant lines, you need control arms, you need PCV, and probably a valve cover, and spark plugs, you know, water pump, thermostat, things like that. You're about $600 in just some parts. The nice thing about these cars, it was pre-E60, obviously, E90, where you had electronic problems, the constant failures, electronic-wise, where you had to have crazy programs that nobody really had to be able to get the car back to good health. You know, on these, if you have a light control module, a general control module go bad, if you can find one with the same part number, you can literally just swap it out and you're good to go. You don't have to program anything, you have to do anything. They don't have random failures with the key chip stuff. That's a pretty rare commodity on these. Now, one drawback what they did have was the fuse box. One of the fuse boxes in the passenger floor. The problem is these had water ingress problems, so door cards would leak if somebody did the window regulators and didn't put the door card back on right. The other issue would be sunroof drains. If you parked under a tree, it got full of gunk, it would stop up a sunroof drain, and it would cause water to get inside the car. Now, it's easily fixable. It's easy to diagnose that. It is a little bit difficult to permanently stop that, though. That's the other thing. You could try to reseal the door cards. There was always somehow water getting into it. The best way to do an E39 or any BMW is to not leave it outside in the rain. If you start with that, it's going to have a lot better luck with these things. But the ride quality is very, very good. It's very smooth. It's not bumpy. It's not thrashy on the highway. And look at this cruise along like this. It's just so nice and quiet and smooth. You know, really not a bad car. Now, if it was an early car, it was a 4-speed. It had the GM, the 4L30E transmission. Those cars suffered a little bit with solenoid problems. And so as it gets some miles on, if nobody changed the fluid regularly, you know, 40, 50,000 miles, what would happen, the solenoids and the transmission would get sticky. So when you started up cold and you took off cold, it didn't want to shift out of first, it wanted to shift out of second gear. No, we want to shift out of first gear. I can't remember. Anyhow, it would want to hang up. You have to pull the roll pins out of the solenoids and fix it like that. and then change the fluid, and then you're back in business. Pretty easy. The GM 4L60, which is on the Chevy pickups, which is the US version, had a lot of those same problems, except those transmissions broke the drive drums a lot and had a lot of catastrophic failure. The 4L30 didn't have a lot of those failures. Now, the later cars from 99 and up had the ZF box, the 5HP19. 5HP19 was basically a bulletproof transmission if you change the fluid in it. And so 5HP19 will run fine if you don't change the fluid in it until about 130, 150K, and it starts shifting weird. Start kicking out of gear and all kinds of bizarre things if you didn't change it. And that would cause a lot of wear on the valve body and things like that. And eventually, if you didn't change it, it would kick out and it would just totally fail. It would grenade the transmission, kick out and kick it in and break the drums. It would break all kinds of stuff. Overall, they're bulletproof transmissions. So I would say, as far as rust goes, E39s did not have a lot of rust problems at all. And they did not have subframe cracks like E46 and E36. So the car was kind of always fixable. It was the first BMW that's ever had full aluminum subframe on front and the rear, and aluminum knuckles and the whole works. So there was really no corrosion issues. You know, it seemed like the control arm failure was a little bit higher on the E39 because it was a heavier car and it was a different setup than E46. There's no lollipop bushings at all. It was like a thrust arm type setup. But control arms, you can buy a whole set of 129 bucks. That's everything. We usually get those sets off eBay or Amazon. Throw away the sway bar links that come with it. Put legit sway bar links on it. As a rule of thumb, you get another 100,000 miles out of those cheaper control arms. Unfortunately, if you buy the Lemendorfer ones, or like legit name brand ones, you get about 100,000 miles out of them, same as the Chinese ones. So there is that to look into. As far as paint wise on these cars, I would say the blue, the dark blue, the light blue, like this car had a little more fading issues. The dark green, in the general rule of thumb, if you took care of any of the colors and kept wax and stuff on them, some kind of protectant, they would never fade out and flake off. The one nice thing about E39, they did not have really any door handle breakage problems. As you guys know, E53, E46, even E36 always have problems with the door handles breaking. They have well, I'm not going to say alleviated that. You can still break the aluminum carrier behind that. It's just not as common. We have seen a few of them if they've been rough handled, especially in freezing temperatures, have broken the carrier on the handle. One issue with the E39 is definitely window regulators is a problem. And if you take a little care and don't roll them up and down when it's freezing and icy out, usually you don't have too much of an issue with it. But all the BMWs, even current day BMWs, have problems with window regulators breaking, especially they get a little bit of age on them and everything starts getting a little bit brittle. But I would say overall, don't be scared to buy one of these. 2022 is definitely the year to snag one of these cars. There's not a lot around anymore that are decent shape, and it's definitely time to buy them right now. The car I'm driving will be for sale this coming week. This week or next week, we're waiting on parts. And if you're interested in it, I was thinking maybe we were asking around $3,000, but after buying tires, after buying a fuel level sender and a fuel pump for it, I think we're gonna be probably closer to $4 grand. This car is flashed to Euro 1, so it will need 91 or 93 octane gas to run, but that also deletes all of the oxygen sensors, that deletes all the secondary air, and it makes a very snappy, responsive car. If you wanted to run catless exhaust on it, you could. It would not know the difference at that point in time, and that deletes about $1,000 worth of stuff whenever you flash it to that tune. Obviously, the trade-off is you gotta run super unleaded in it, but small price to pay. It's not without its quirks. It has few little piddly things like the LEDs on the cluster need to be redone, but we just can't do all that. This car's been sitting around for a while, as approved with the fuel pump. It definitely hurts cars to sit around because we had a fuel pump failure from that. So it's time to let it go. We have a brand new set of tires sitting in the shop for it, and we're just trying to make it as good as we can for the next owner, because these cars are going to be a rarity. So that's going to be it, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Be back very soon with another one. We'll see y'all later.